Hey everybody, so welcome to today's episode on the Afro Hustle podcast. So if this is your first time on this platform, if this is your first time on my channel, make sure to click the subscribe button, right? Make sure to click the subscribe button and click on the bell to make sure you never miss any of my videos. Great. So today's African proverb is, this is a funny one. A child can only play with the mother's breast, but not with the father's testicles. This is a Ghanaian proverb. A child can only play with the mother's breast and not with the father's testicles. I'm gonna leave you with that. You just digest that information and think about what that could mean for you. Okay, great. So today's episode, I'm gonna be talking about something which is really, it doesn't just affect us. This is like something that affects everybody. Right, so we always think about hustling, right? And the aspect of hustling means hustling is very subjective. People may think about hustling to make more money. People may think about hustling to mean working more jobs. People may think about hustling to mean maybe working overtime, right? So in today's episode, I'm going to be talking a lot about the hustle culture, and that's a lie. So the hustle culture and the lie in the hustle culture. I know that the title of my show is actually Afro Hustle, right? I know that because but I really wanted to tell you the aspect of hustling and how you can properly handle your hustle. As you go out there every day, hustle. As you go out there to work hard, to support yourself, support your family, support your loved ones, to help your community, to impact the world. I really want you to actually take a second look at what your hustle is all about, right? Okay, great. So in recent times, there's been a significant change, and there's been a significant culture growing around hustling. So many times, we especially with the millennial generation, we think about hustle. We think about the fact that we want to be able to replace our work. We want to be able to replace our life with our work, right? If you look at this generation, my generation, and probably your generation, maybe people that are like between the 40s, under 50s generation, so many of us are like don't have children, or so many of us are like in a very midlife, I wouldn't say midlife crisis, but we are in a very difficult position in our life. We can't really make decisions, right? So many of us are like juggling careers. So many of us have many professional life. Maybe some of us are like having two careers. Maybe some of us are actually thinking about considering changing our careers from one thing to another. Maybe if you were a doctor or you were a medical professional before, now you want to you want to go and be an accountant. Maybe you were an accountant before, now you want to be an IT person, because maybe you're thinking about all the different benefits that each professional career path actually brings to your life. We realize that there've been a lot of research studies over the years that have gone through and actually proven that so many of us as hustlers, so many of us in the millennial generation, we are replacing our life. We're replacing what we should be doing in our lives by, say, for example, maybe having a family, or maybe taking a vacation, or actually speaking to our mom, or going for Christmas holidays, or going for Thanksgiving holidays. We're replacing that with work. We prefer to work, especially in a city like New York City where I live. It's so busy. So many times people even forget to call their parents, right? People so much forget to call their parents. You feel like you go for months without necessarily calling your parents. My aunt lives just about 20 miles from me, but I haven't seen her in 6 months. It's unbelievable. It's not because I don't want to see her, but just because things have just been so busy, right? But I try to call her at least once a week. But that's the whole culture, right? That's just the culture. You think about the fact that so many times we get ourselves so busy with work, and we can easily get so burnt out. One of the most important things, there've been a lot of health, there've been a lot of thoughts, and I wouldn't say myths about hustling, because so many times we think about hustling to be the aspect of making more money, putting in more hours, working overtime. You feel like you leave your work, you don't go home, maybe you hustle something else on your way home. At the end of the day, you're getting home like 11, 12 midnight. You go to sleep the next morning, you're waking up at 5 or 6 a.m. You keep heading back to the road. So at the end of the day, you feel like you don't really have a life, right? As a hustler, you feel like you don't really have a life, and this goes for us for both men, female, whatever you call yourself. But that's how it's definitely been. That's how it's been, and it's as much as it's good for us to do that, as much as we feel that hype, we feel like we want to be able to enter that competition. We want to be able to to compete with our friends or our colleagues at work. Feel like your colleagues are doing so much better than you, and you want to be able to put in more, right? You want to be able to put in more. And I was like that. Definitely, I was like that, right? I remember in the last 3 to 4 years ago, I was literally living that life. I was literally just like hustling, like working my skin off. I was putting in extra hours. I come home late. I'm waking up early. I'm working this job. I'm working the other job. I really didn't have time for anything. I really didn't have time for anything. That's why I couldn't do my show. I couldn't do my podcast. I couldn't do anything, right? But right now, I've been able to take a step back. I've been able to learn different strategies, which I'm gonna be sharing with you today. So I'm gonna be sharing with you different strategies on how you can actually combat this hustle culture, how you can actually fight it, how you can still hustle and still live a healthy life. Because it doesn't just, what does it impact? I think about this biblical quote that says, what does it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose their soul, right? So think about it. What does it benefit you to get $1 million and you end up sick, right? You end up deteriorating your health. You're gonna spend all the $1 million to try to gain your health back. At the end of the day, you're healthy and you're broke. So it comes down to the same. It comes down to the same thing. There have been a lot of reports. Hard work is good. If hard work is necessary in order for you to succeed, hard work is good. There are different theories into that, right? People may actually say, "Oh, hard work is not necessary," but the general mindset is that hard work is necessary for success. That's the general mindset. You and I can both agree on that, right? But now, putting in extra time, going all the way, going an extra mile. It's good to actually work extra, because one of the things I know and I recognize that is that, in order for you to succeed, you want to be able to do more than what other people are doing, right? Do more than what your competitors are doing. Do more than what your co-workers are doing. That's how you're going to succeed. But if the competition in the workplace, we like and we love healthy competition, right? Healthy competition increases and improves performance in the workplace. But think about how the competition can actually become negative. Competition can actually have a negative impact on your growth, can actually have a negative impact on your performance, and actually have a negative impact on your health, right? So that's when you actually thought about yourself to be, oh my God, I'm hustling, I'm doing this. You come home, you're knocked out. The next day you're waking up. Maybe you have kids, maybe you have a wife, and you don't have time. You really don't even have time for your family, right? The people that you're actually working for, you don't have time for them. So at the end of the day, you're working so much for your family, but you really don't even, you can't even cut out time to spend with that family that you're working so hard for. Right now they haven't been. Right now, I've trying to look at many reports, but they haven't been established. They have not been an established relationship between overwork and like mental health. But I can tell you that there's a definite impact. There's a definite negative impact on your mental health by overwork, by overactivity. Because at the end of the day, we as we don't even sleep as much, right? I know personally, and I think you and I are in this bucket, because I sleep between 4 to 5, 6 hours a night, right? If I sleep, I can't even sleep more than 6 hours a night, because my body just wakes up. And that's not good, because definitely we need good sleep, we need good health, we need good everything, right? At least one of the most important aspects that we want to think about as a successful entrepreneur, as a successful business owner, or maybe as a successful whatever you're pursuing, right? Whatever your hustle is about, is that you want to be able to take care of yourself. Because if you don't take care of yourself, guess what? You're gonna be able to all these little things, all this stress, headache, diabetes. There are a lot of illnesses that associate themselves with stress. Right? There are a lot of illnesses that associate themselves with stress, including reproduction. Including even having kids. because at the end of the day, if you're stressed out, you can't perform appropriately, you can't perform appropriately, or you can't perform well, right? But honestly, there are a lot of things, a lot of negative impact that stress have on our health, on our mental health, right? So there are a lot of disorders and a lot of things that we usually, I mean, you can look this up on the internet and stuff, but you can definitely relate. One of the most most significant group of people who suffer, one of the most significant group of people who suffer this aspect of hustling is actually entrepreneurs, right? Entrepreneurs are people who, like you and I, people who would say, I want to be able to step out of the game. I want to be able to step out of the cycle. I want to be able to step out of the routine cycle. I want to be able to do my own thing. Right? Imagine working for a company and still want to be able to do your own business, right? So at the end of the day, you're doing so much. You go to the job and do 9 to 5 or 8 to 4 or 7 to 3 or 7 to 11 or whatever the schedule is, right? You're able to do those schedule. At the end of the day, the next thing you're coming home, you still want to do your own business. So you're spending 8 hours on the job, and you come home, you spend additional 3 to 4 hours at home working. Maybe your family is going to sleep. By the time you do everything, by the time you want to be able to go to bed, everybody's going to bed. You're waking up early in the morning, you have to go to work. So it becomes significant, So entrepreneurs have actually suffered a lot. And, entrepreneurs are people who have actually had a definite negative impact on their health due to hustling. Because first of all, as an entrepreneur, you set your own schedule. But at the end of the day, with the schedule that you set for yourself, you have that pressure, because you want to be able to have that pressure to succeed. You have that pressure to succeed. You feel like if you don't succeed, you feel like if you don't get your job done, you feel like if you don't accomplish this last task, you're not going to be able to succeed. You can't even sleep. Right? We feel like we've accumulated so many hours, and you'll be like, you know what? I've done this, I've done that. I want to be able to go to sleep, but you can't go to sleep because you feel like if I go to sleep, maybe I'm going to lose my momentum. Right? I'm going to lose my momentum. I call it my mojo. I'm going to lose my mojo of actually accomplishing my work. So entrepreneurs have actually put in so much time. I actually read one article from one entrepreneur. This is what he said. He said, the CEO, he said, among the many prices I have paid for my health, among the many prices I have paid in my business, due to my crazy schedule, one of the most important is my mental health and sleep deprivation. So think about it. So among the many prices that he has paid, this is a CEO of a company who said, you know what, as a CEO, he owns the company. Every responsibility falls on his shoulder, right? Every responsibility falls on his shoulder. Everything that his company is supposed to succeed, he is supposed to be the one responsible for everything. But how can he be successful if he has to take time off? How can he be successful if he has to go to sleep early? How can he be successful if he has to go out and play with his kids or have time with his wife, right? Or her husband, right? But at the end of the day, he or she feels the pressure of success. You feel the pressure of you want to be able to do it. You want to get it done. At the end of the day, you're losing those losing those successful moments, those moments that you can spend with your family, those moments that you can spend with your loved ones. You lose those moments. Even the pandemic, this COVID-19 pandemic did also had a significant negative impact on our stress. Had a significant negative impact on the mental health and the hustle culture, right? Because first of all, the pandemic came at a time when the pandemic came and disrupted everybody's routine, came and changed everybody's routine and disrupted people's lives, and people were looking for other means of income. People were looking for other means to make a living. People started doing maybe crazy things, or at the time, personally, during the pandemic, I was doing like 3 jobs because I was just like super crazy. My job, I do medical research, and during the time of the pandemic, I had like several opportunities of like working here, doing research here, practice here. I was just all over the place. So I was really stressed and burned out, right? I was really stressed and burned out until I had to realize to say, you know what, this is like killing me, and I needed to take a step back. I really needed, the money was there and everything, but I really needed to take a step back and just gain my health, just regain myself, because I wanted to really think about my mental health and the benefits of my health to myself and my family, right? I wanted to really see how I really wanted to bring my life back together, because the hustling and the bustling is not just about going out there and hustling and think about the fact that you want to be able to make more and get more and be more, but you want to be able to think about how that can actually translate to your health, and how that can translate to the love and the passion that you have for your loved one. So right now, I've talked about all the different things and all the different aspects of how you can actually, how the little things that how you can identify stress, how you can identify stress in your hustle, right? How you can identify the impact on your mental health by your hustle. So now I want to be able to talk about, okay, what can you do to actually fix that? What are some of the things that you can put in place today to actually, in your hustle? What are some of the things you can put in place in your hustle to guide you, to protect your mental health, to protect you from actually crashing, to protect you from burning out, right? One of the things I have done is actually schedule your day to get enough sleep. I know, like I said earlier, so most of us in our generation, I read one of the Harvard Business Review said 1 to 3% of people sleep just 5 to 6 hours a night. So 1 to 3% of people sleep just 5 to 6 hours a night. I mean, I can also add within the certain age range, right? I can add between 50 to like 60% of people who are between the ages of like 20 to like 35 to 40 sleep between 4 to 5 hours a day, right? Between 4 to 5 hours a day, because those are like the most active, productive years of your lives. And between those years, we are very, very active. But the good thing is, be able to schedule enough sleep on your calendar. So think about the amount of time you want to have for sleep, right? If you plan to actually go to sleep, plan to sleep for 7-8 hours a night, just put that on your calendar, put down your schedule. Make sure that you have everything planned out. Make sure all the activities that you're supposed to do for the day ends before your bedtime, right? All the activities ends before your bedtime, so you have enough time to go to sleep, enough time to rest, enough time to let your body regain and regroup itself again and get ready for the next day, right? Okay, good. The second thing the second one I have here is try blocking time on your calendar for other activities. So try blocking time on your calendar for other activities. So personally, what I usually do is, right now I have family time, right? Family time is when I speak to my daughter, I speak to my mom, I speak to my brother, I speak to my nieces and nephews. That's my family time. And I have that on my calendar, right? That's my family time, where I say, you know what, this is my time for me to dedicate to my loved ones. I'm going to have this time, maybe I'm being with them on the phone, maybe I'm playing with them, whatever activity I'm supposed to, maybe I'm going out for brunch, but that's my family time. I literally have that on my calendar. Second thing I have on my calendar is my activities, my exercise, right? Every Saturday and Sunday, I play my soccer game. Between 7 a.m. to like 10 a.m., I'm in the field, on the court, serious soccer game, rain, sunshine, snow. I love the fact that, first of all, those guys are very serious, right? And we keep ourselves accountable. So we want to be able to have those accountability partners. So I have to be able to schedule those activities on your calendar, because guess what? Once you schedule them on your calendar has those notifications that pop up and remind you, maybe it's like 30 minutes or 15 minutes prior to the activity. So be like, then get a notification on your phone. You can just look up your phone. You're like, oh my god, yeah, I'm supposed to do this. So you're literally stopping what you're doing right now and doing the activity that has been on your calendar, right? So I do my soccer game at least. I spend between 5 to 6 hours a week for my exercise, including my soccer game, maybe running or jogging or whatever. But I have that set on my calendar, between 5 to 6 hours a week. Right? By family time, I have family time between 5 to 6 hours a week of my family time, where maybe we could just hang out or just talk, or just clear my mind away from the hustling, clear my mind away from all the activities of the day, or all the series of activities that may be draining my mental health, right? But I'm able to regroup and spend that time with my family, or maybe go out for exercise, or just go for a run. I get those the morning breeze, and I just really feel good, and I feel like, okay, you know what, I've regrouped myself, I feel better now, I have to go back to work, right? The next item I have here is take necessary breaks. Take all the necessary breaks that you definitely need, because honestly, the work, you can't finish the work in one day. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it, right? We only have 24 hours in a day. And as a hustler, I understand it. I understand, because I'm a hustler too. So you have the pressure. You feel like you want to be able to get things done. You feel like if you go to sleep, you feel like if you go to sleep, you're gonna lose your mojo. You're gonna lose your momentum, right? You feel like if you take a step out, even if you get a glass of water, you're gonna lose whatever the momentum that you have on the project that you're working on. You feel like even if you go to sleep, or you want to go out with your spouse for brunch, or maybe your daughter comes over and want to hit you with a ball, because they want you to play with them. At the end of, you feel like, just hold on 1 minute, baby, or hold on 1 minute. So at the end of the day, you feel all this pressure, and you don't have that time with your family, right? Because you feel like, if you want to be able to jump from that computer or from that work that you're doing, you're going to lose. But honestly, we just have 24 hours a day, and there's nothing we can do to increase that 24 hours, right? So we want to be able to enjoy that moment, enjoy the moment that you have with your family, enjoy the moment that you have with your loved ones, and take all the breaks that are necessary. There was one time, actually, I spent so much time on my computer, and I started having they call it dry eye, but I don't even know why they call it dry eye, because but I was actually tearing. Most of the time when I look on the computer a lot, my eyes get wet. So I went to the ophthalmologist, and he said, you need to take periodic breaks. Maybe every after 20 minutes you can look out from your computer for like 10 minutes, or for like 2 minutes, then you can go back to work. And that actually helped. I started doing that, and that definitely helped me, right? Because there was one time I was just sitting at my computer for hours and hours and hours, and just kept working and working and working, and that was good because I liked it. But it had a negative impact on me. Maybe if the doctor didn't tell me to actually think about my health and think about how I can actually take those periodic breaks, then I wouldn't have a good eyesight right now, right? I wouldn't have a good eyesight right now. But those are some of the things you need to take the necessary breaks. The last one I have here is actually value of empathy. Value of empathy. And value of empathy, it doesn't just go to like our personal lives, right? It goes right back to the culture of the organization that you're working. Maybe you're working in an organization right now where maybe you think about the fact that organizations, they have this competition. They put competitions out there for you to think about yourself. Maybe we all want to grow, right? We're looking for opportunities of growth. You want to go out there, you want to get things done. You want to make sure you outperform your coworker. You want to make sure you outperform your colleague. So you want to be at the top. You want to be the forerunner. You want to be the best in your company. You want to be the best in your organization. At the end of the day, you're losing empathy, right? You're losing empathy because most organizations don't even have empathy as part of their organizational culture. So what happens is that, because we are so focused on achieving those goals, we're so focused on being the number one, we feel like the number one is our top priority, and you can definitely kill everything on the side because you want to be number one, right? You can crush everything on the side. It's like saying that I want to be number one at every cost, right? At every cost, which means the cost of your health, the cost of your self pride, the cost of your self-esteem, the cost of your the cost of everything, right? The cost of your self-respect, because you want to be number one, right? So we want to also think about if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a CEO or a business owner, maybe an employee, think about empathy. So we think about empathy and be able to set our boundaries. So organizations fail to actually set out. A lot of organizations fail to set boundaries, right? They feel like they can call you on weekends, they can call you during off hours. you're supposed to leave work at 5 o'clock. By the time you're getting home, somebody's calling your phone, your work phone, or they're directing all your work phone calls right now to your cell. And with the pandemic, so many organizations have actually encouraged your workers to work remotely. And because you can't use your work phone at home, they will direct all your work calls to your cell phone, right? When they direct your work calls to your cell phone, guess what happens? You're getting all the work calls on your cell phone, and people don't even know when not to call you, right? They just call you randomly, and you'll be like, you have to answer all these calls, because if the calls are coming to your cell phone, you feel like you're always at work, right? So if you're an employee, think about how to set out boundaries. Think about how you can set out, do not touch your phone, or do not touch your computer, your home computer, your work computer after hours, after work time, right? After work time, I actually started doing that because I feel like, because we work from home for the most part, it becomes, you actually don't know when to stop working. Even though they say 9 to 5 on your pay check and whatever, you feel like 9 to 5 is just a thing, right? But you're actually working a lot more than 9 to 5. Right, you feel like you're waking up earlier, you sleep, you're going to work, you're going to bed late because you're doing work stuff. But you kind of never took that time for yourself, because you always feel like, oh, I want to be able to accomplish it. Let me just finish this one. Let me just submit this one. Let me just finish this one statement. Then by the time somebody sends you an email, by the time you're done, somebody sends another email, asking for questions. Then you stay and you find yourself being on your computer 8, 9, 10 p.m. in the night, and you just never planned for that, right? You just never planned for that, and you found out that there's no boundary between your work and your life. So at the end of the day, your hustling becomes toxic to your work-life balance. Because so many people think about the work hustling culture to have a negative impact on your work-life balance. But I want you to actually I hope you'll be able to gather these very important aspects of actually what you can do to actually handle your hustle better and take care of your health, because it's definitely important, right? It's definitely important. So guys, so that's it. That's all I had for today. But I really wanted to thank you. If you find value in this content, make sure to click the subscribe button. All right, make sure to click the subscribe button, click the bell, because I'm going to be posting a lot of valuable information on this channel. Right, make sure to click the subscribe button. And if this is your first time watching me, make sure to put in the comments below. Tell us where you are, tell us who you are, where you're coming, where you're watching me from, and tell me what you actually got from this, or what your hustle is all about, right? And what's your aha moment that you took from this video? What is it that you actually, what is it actually listen to us? You'll be like, that's what I want to start doing, right? So think about that, and I can't wait to actually see you on the next